Today is Saturday, May 11th, 2019. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor Edge of Extinction Week 12.
That's right. We do the recaps on Wednesdays, and then we turn it over to the super fans for the listener feedback show on Saturdays. We just had our penultimate episode right before the finale. We're thinking, that coaster couldn't climb back up to the top again, could it? No, very unlikely. That isn't going to happen. But sure enough, it did. It wasn't just a coaster. It was a train. It was the Rick Devens choo-choo train. It was barreling down the tracks.
Yep, you played that song. What was the name of that song?
I'm a Train.
Didn't you put a link to it in the show notes
I did, yes.
for the recap show?
Yeah, I thought, well, if I could play a copyrighted song, I would play that one because that was.
Yeah, well, we listened to it and enjoyed it. So
there we go.
If you want to hear it,
go back to the show notes for the recap show and check it out.
Check out the link.
But we're here to turn the reins over to the super fans, see what they thought about this episode, and any predictions they may be willing to share as we head into the finale.
Okay.
Because we could all use some predictions to help with our fantasy league games. That's right. Anything we need to say before we dive in?
I don't think so, other than there will be a listener reward bonus question at the end of this show. You might want to stick around for that, or at least skip forward to it. But be sure to listen for the question.
Our man Pete is out partying at Turks and Caicos, so we're going to turn it over to Shea to kick us off. Let's go, Shea.
Hey, guys, this is Shea. What an amazing episode. It just continues to do what it's supposed to do. Leave me jumping up and down on my bed like I'm 4 years old. I'm here to tell you, at some point, no matter who you started out voting for, you eventually have to just fall in line behind the person who's playing the best game, who clearly should win. And I think we all know at this point that is Rick Devens. If you don't know it, you need to know it, because that man has got some testicular fortitude. He is rocking this game and deserves to win it. And I don't know if I'll be happy, truly happy with any other result. I guess we'll have to see who comes back. As of right now, I'm on the Rick train. I think I always have been. I think maybe episode 3 or 4 I called and said my husband picked him, but then the very next week he went to Edge of Extinction. But man, oh man, is he back, and I'm on the train. Woo woo! I can't wait to hear how many other people think so too. So let's get this podcast going, people.
All right. Thanks, Shea. Yeah, definitely. The only thing, and I think we're going to hear this from some other folks, is like Shea was saying, is that it's uneven. There's a dominant game that's easy to get behind Rick, and we're going to hear from some folks that aren't behind Rick, but you can get behind some of that gamesmanship and certainly his fervor and joy and love of the game kind of thing.
And just the fun he's having.
Where's the rest of them? They all seem flat.
I know, they do, don't they?
There's not dimensions to them, and that's not even necessarily on them, although supposedly they provide the source material. But the editors can do a whole lot. But we've come in with one horse that seems to be well ahead of the pack there. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work. And
yet he has to start in the rear every single time.
Yeah, he gets the last position. He's never in the pole position, huh? Yeah,
never.
That's true. All right, let's check in with some other folks and see what they're thinking, because we got a variety of opinions and a variety of takes on how things are going. Next up, we got an email from Mike in Omaha. Survivor friends and enthusiasts, I believe we got another rather good episode. I'm sort of at a loss for what to say this week. I believe it's fairly self-evident that if Rick Devens continues to find advantages and ways to save himself up till the end, just like Mike Holloway or Ben from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers, well, he'll find himself in the unique position of being unstoppable and get rewarded for it. So if that is the outcome, while I'm no longer on the Rick bandwagon, it would be all right. I think Rick is a nice guy and he's somewhat entertaining, but I also think that that outcome is only exciting if you're a fan. Far more interesting will be to see who returns from the edge, and if Rick is knocked out, just who is going to win this thing. And certainly there's question marks everywhere you look. I keep getting this odd feeling that Chris Underwood might be returning. I couldn't say exactly why. I like Chris, but any returnee into the game at this point, it includes Rick, I'm cheering against. He's becoming cocky as he feels he's got nothing to lose, and it's irritating to me. I don't believe this is so much a character trait of his. It's just the song that all these types end up singing because everyone's against them, so they figure why not just play around a bit. As for Rick or any other returnee, it isn't so much their fault why I'm against them. I think the fault lies with this crazy season and the edge of extinction. So who do we have left? Gavin, Lauren, Victoria, and Julie. As for who of these four could win, the odds aren't looking too good that any of them would get the respect. I suppose Gavin has the most chance, but he doesn't strike me as an excellent orator and might get ripped to shreds at the final tribal council. Victoria's been seen as too quiet. Julie has been seen as wishy-washy and emotional. And Lauren, I don't know. Is Lauren going to win? Based on the edit, I almost can't dissuade myself from thinking the winner is either Rick or whoever comes back. If that's the case, this season gets knocked down at least about 5 places in my overall rankings from where it would automatically. The only thing this season has taught me is to trust my instincts and know that I'm reading the edit pretty well overall. I suppose that's not without its charm, eh? Good luck, odds makers. I am at a loss this season. I can safely say I don't know who even might win. The only person I was sure wouldn't win got voted out in Aurora. Those who contribute to the podcast, I love hearing your feedback. Joanne and Stacy, I can't thank you guys enough. It's great to be part of your podcast here in even the tiniest ways. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate your contribution and the work you put into your feedback. Thanks for sharing your views and perspectives. Good job. Next up, we've got a call from Lisa.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. I'm Lisa, and I live in the United Arab Emirates. I've been listening to your podcast for a couple seasons now, and I'm really enjoying the insights into and the love of the game that you and your listeners have for Survivor. Listening to you all makes me feel like I'm part of a community, so I thought I'd finally put my 2 cents worth in this week. This was definitely Devin's show this week. He made me giggle with the quips and comments that so obviously get under the skins of the other players. I was pretty tickled when he found another idol so quickly. He had me giggling again with his antics when the others finally decided to shadow him. Watching him running around the island, hiding in trees, jumping out at people, obviously getting a real kick out of it all was fun to watch. He does a good job of playing the puppeteer in the tribal council as well. He seems to just intuitively know what's going to play to the jury. Lauren's attempt to get Devens to admit that he found the idol was interesting to me. I thought that this confrontation would have Devens questioning how she would know how the idols are found and maybe tip him off that she actually had the idol. And for a second there, I thought she was going to let the cat out of the bag about her own idol. And when Gavin won the award, I was not surprised that Aurora was left out. Again, Devens... wow. And meaningful glance at Aurora made me smile. I knew Aurora wasn't going to be chosen as she's at the bottom in that 4-person alliance. And it's really easy to say that there's no ill will, but there was definitely a message. And just because Gavin doesn't have any ill will doesn't mean that Aurora doesn't feel that way. I thought the letters from Extinction Island could have been skipped. I thought it was an unsuccessful attempt to get an emotional reaction in the audience, and that just took away from the gameplay. And I was definitely watching the immunity challenge with bated breath I gave my cat Mittens a heart attack when Devins won because I cheered so loudly, and she spent the next half an hour glaring at me because of that. So when Devin started to hint about using his idol during tribal council, I was yelling at the TV, God, don't waste it! You have immunity. You'll need it next week. And, Aurora's attitude was grating on my nerves, and I thought her tunnel vision goal of getting Devins out was too short-sighted. I get that you don't want to sit with him at the end, but it didn't get her any further in the game. Ultimately, I was happy to see her go, and I thought it was a long time coming, but I'm still not sure if it was the right choice. If you want Devins out, don't you want people around who can beat him in the challenges? I'm not quite sure what's going to happen in the finale. This season has been so hard to call, and I'm really excited to see how it all pans out, and I'm hoping that Devins really pulls it out at the end and that he's in the final three, if not the winner of the whole shebang.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. Great job on your first feedback. Good deal. Lisa from the UAE. We appreciate that. Good job. Next up, we got an email from Scott in New Jersey.
Dear Joanne and Stacy, I've only recently discovered your podcast and have thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been a Survivor fan since the first episode, and sometimes the best part of the show is discussing the most recent episode with other viewers, so your podcast is perfect. I just wanted to comment on two things from the last episode. First, the episode showed how insignificant Victoria has been and how she is so under the radar that Jeff didn't even acknowledge her when she brought her first puzzle pieces to the table. Jeff is commenting on everyone else, and Victoria had to remind him, Jeff, I'm playing too.
That's very telling.
Yes, it was. Second, and I hope this does not happen, but what if the players on Extinction Island make a pact and agree amongst themselves that if the person who makes it back into the game gets to the final three, that they will all vote for that person to win? It's a possibility.
I can't see Reem agreeing to anything, but that's interesting to consider.
I have other thoughts, but I'm sure some of your other listeners will bring them up, so I'll refrain. Thanks for your efforts with the podcast. Keep up the good work. All right. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, good job. Next up, we got a call from Kyle.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor fans at home. This is Kyle calling from Calgary, Canada, wanting to share some thoughts for this week's episode of Survivor. I know I've been MIA for a few weeks. I've just been really busy. Just got back from a stint in Florida where my daughter competed with her cheerleading group at the World Championships at Disney World, so that was really fun. But I've been following along with the recaps and the listener feedback the whole way through, so much appreciated on that. This week, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really fun. Rick's antics and his ultimate tribal win was really great. Him getting the immunity idol is pretty great too for next week. So I think we're probably going to see him win just by virtue of him being able to get through and showing some good luck here. And it's a good story if so. I'll be okay with that. I can't see anyone else as being a winner. I mean, maybe Gavin, but I don't know if he's up against Rick. I don't think that there's a chance. I can only see him if Rick gets ultimately voted out. I did want to say that I really did not like the production's choice to have the Edge of Extinction people read the letters that they wrote to themselves. I thought that was super campy. It was actually very, to use a term the kids use, really cringy to sort of have somebody read through these fake letters that they wrote to themselves about how great they're going to be doing and how everything, and crying about it. And I don't know. It's just that level of emotion that I'm just thinking it's really lame and super forced. And I don't know. It's not for me. Maybe some people liked it, but when as soon as somebody says in a letter that you didn't need to win Survivor because you're a winner already, just makes me want to throw up a little bit. So let's hope less of that, because that was silly and a waste of time. As for next week and the finale, I think we're probably going to see a real paint by the numbers finale where either Rick is just going to continue to win. I don't think there's going to be any real big surprises, and I think it's probably just going to tag off an okay season of Survivor, and I mean, I'd be happy with it. I guess we'll have to see. So wishing everyone a great week. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and we'll talk to you later. All right, thanks. Bye.
So who said that? Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, good job. Great to have you back. Who said what? You got to be more specific.
What Kyle said about they didn't need to win Survivor.
Several of them basically essentially said that.
Oh,
yeah.
I have to go back and watch that again.
Julia, I think, qualifies under that. possibly Joe, Eric.
Joe? No, Joe wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm, in a paraphrased way. It's like, I've already won because of all the things I've learned about myself.
But not one is what he said. Anyway, I'm going to have to go back and watch those because I obviously just kind of spaced a lot of that.
Yeah, you
I tuned
watched
it.
Well, no, you didn't tune it out. You saw the visuals associated with Chris, and you said, oh, it's Chris. Chris is returning because of the way he was featured visually. And the rest of them faded away after that.
That's why I have to go back and rewatch.
Yeah. Good deal. Thanks again, Kyle. Next up, we got an email from Jacqui. Not sure where you're from, Jacqui. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is my first year in the JSFL, and I have enjoyed listening to the podcast. It really has enhanced the enjoyment of this season. The high point this week was Rick having immunity and then pulling out his idol at Tribal Council. Given that he didn't play it for Julie, I think he now has them all believing the idol is fake. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, I think so too.
It really was an awesome move, and I can't wait to see him play it for real in the final episode.
It was Lauren's reaction, really. Like she kind of rolled her eyes it was fake.
That's her go-to.
We should have known it was fake. That's why I thought that.
Okay. All right. The low point of this episode, by far, was the Extinction Island montage with the rereading of personal letters. I really thought this was lame. Writing a personal letter like that is meant to be saved for many years, then reopened. These survivors potentially wrote the letter a month before opening it. Lame. They tried to build this scene into some major emotional moment and failed. It was weird, forced, and a waste of our valuable survivor footage minutes. Oh man, I can't agree more. Yeah, Probst talks a little bit about it. I think he was even kind of acknowledging, this could be me projecting, but it was almost like he was acknowledging that it didn't work. And again, it's an example of those things that they try, so they think this could be a great TV moment, and when they're brainstorming ideas for a new season.
I didn't read his interview with Dalton.
Yeah, just the quick Q&A. They talked about it for a minute. Dalton didn't bust his chops over it, but Probst seemed to be hedging his answers a little just to fend that off. I don't know. That's how I read it. I'll include a link to it in the show notes for this episode. I hope the editors get this feedback for future Survivor seasons. Me too. It reminded me of those past seasons where they would walk from torch to torch and reflect on the survivors that had been eliminated. Yep. Same kind of hokum.
Stacy hated it.
Fallen comrades. I always thought that was a waste of time, and I'm glad they no longer do it.
But a lot of people liked it.
Give us that's true. There's a whole range of people who watch and enjoy. Give us our valuable, interesting gameplay footage. I'm with you. Overall comments from this season, I miss the food eating challenges. I miss when they used to do different types of Survivor trivia games. The current challenges are definitely creative, but I think these other types also added some variety. I love the unique hidden idols, advantages, and twists. I do think that adds an unpredictable edge to the season. Lastly, and I've wanted to say this since week number 1, what is with that nasty ski cap that Victoria wears? Honestly, I've never seen someone dressed in a bikini wearing a ski cap. This season was a first for me. Perhaps she can ceremonially throw it in the fire pit at the final live taping. All right. Thanks, Jacqui. Good deal. Enjoyed that. Next up, we got a call from Krystal.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Krystal calling from Pasadena. I first want to say just wow, that was an awesome episode and I loved every minute of it. And my mind is just blown right now. I have so much to say, but I will keep it simple. First, I'm just really excited that they gave the players on Edge of Extinction some type of reward. I was really glad to see them get something for lasting in the game this long and just for kind of sticking it out. But I did think it was hilarious to hear Reem say that the one thing she wanted to gain from the game was patience. I wasn't really sure if her big epiphany moment was that she realized that she didn't gain patience from the game, or if she actually thought that she did gain more patience from being in the game. I was really unclear how to read her reaction to that letter, but I thought that part was really funny. And the only other thing I have to say is go Rick. I'm so excited that he's not only still in the game, but he also has an idol, and I just was on the edge of my seat, very nervous to see if he was going to use it on Julie, but I'm glad he didn't and that he made the right decision. And I'm so excited to see him continue to fight in this game. And it looks like he's really having a lot of fun also, which makes it even more amazing to watch. And rooting for him going forward, I can't wait to see what he does next. And that's all I have for today, but I can't wait to hear what all the other listeners had to say. And as always, I love hearing your feedback. So thank you for all you do, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.
Excellent. Thank you, Krystal. Good job. Next up, we got an email from Julie in Iowa.
Hi, Survivor friends. What a great episode. And I got another vote out point. Once again, all week I tried to talk myself into changing my vote off from Aurora to Julie, and I just wouldn't do it. Whew. I enjoyed Devin's messing with the others so much. He is fighting so hard to win this that I can't help but cheer him on. He was a player that I wasn't crazy about in the beginning, but I am loving his sass and determination. I'm excited and sad for the final episode. All right, thanks, Julie. Up next, we have a call from Kim and Cameron.
Hi, everybody. It's Kim and Cameron from North Carolina. I notice I sound a lot more excited when I do the feedback with Cameron and Kaz. It's a lot more fun to bounce ideas off of each other.
Exactly.
So, Rick schooled everybody else. I don't see how anybody is satisfied if someone else wins.
Yeah, I thought that hide and seek thing, it was hilarious, you know, it was great TV. I didn't see much of a point in it. I guess his energy point was kind of something, but overall I thought it just made some great television.
Yes, way better than that Edge of Extinction. That was hokey and a waste of time. I'm with you, Stacy. I figure the one that comes back will be one of the ones that had a cameo / Victoria's Secret shot like Chris.
That's what I'm thinking. I've been wanting Chris back since he got voted out. I thought maybe he would beat Rick in that first challenge. And honestly, I can't really see it being anyone else besides David. I think Kim pointed out to me Julia also had a little bit of an edit with the letter. But hopefully not Aubrey or Reem.
If you guys haven't realized it, Cameron doesn't like Aubrey or Reem.
Nope, never have. Although, I was thinking Ron maybe because of his gameplay when he was actually in camp. But he didn't get an edit at all with the letter, so I'm thinking not him anymore.
So I'm thinking, will Victoria and Gavin go after Lauren if they can't get Rick next time? Because they know he has an idol, and who knows, he could win immunity again. But Lauren has the idol, so then could that blow up in their faces and they end up voting out, say, Julie as a backup choice?
Yeah. Aurora, at the end of the episode, thought that the whole camp got reverse psychologied by Rick. But right when it happened, I was thinking, maybe not. Maybe they were just all right with seeing you go. I mean, her name has been floating around for a while. It kind of seemed that they didn't want her at the end. So she might have just been blindsided herself.
So we were talking about how we're going to do our picks for the last 5, and assuming
no Edge of Extinction.
Yeah. I have Rick first, and Gavin second, Julie third, because I think they're going to take her like a goat. Lauren, 4th place, Victoria, 5th place.
I'm thinking the exact same thing. I swapped Victoria and Gavin, so I have Victoria 2nd, Gavin 5th, because either way, I feel like one of them goes to the end and gets a couple of votes, but Rick wins still, and whoever doesn't go to the end gets voted out next. The point Ken brought up to me was also the jury could be more bitter this season just because they didn't have Ponderosa to bond and drink and eat and be merry. They've been trapped on that deserted island. So maybe they could be even more bitter, maybe even more salty, which could affect their final vote. Granted, Rick hasn't ticked off anyone that much, so it's not like they'll be that bitter toward him, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we've been hearing on the feedback how Rick has been on the wrong side of the vote all the time, but that also means that the people on Edge of Extinction weren't voted off by him.
Exactly. Well, I think that's all this week. Until the finale, it's been a great season so far.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to say I really enjoy everybody's feedback, every single person who calls in, and I appreciate what y'all say, and it's been another fun season of Survivor Fans Podcast.
Absolutely. See you guys next week.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Cameron. Good job, guys. Next up, we got an email from Christiana in Boston. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. What a great episode of Survivor to bring us into the finale. I'm so impressed with Devins and his gameplay. He's playing leagues ahead of the other castaways, and I think if he doesn't win, the ending will be somewhat unsatisfying for me. On the other hand, though, it's so obvious that he is the leader of the pack, and the other players have made it very clear he cannot make it to the end. So if he does get to the end, they might as well forgo Final Tribal Council and just write him the check right then and there. And they don't have many more opportunities to vote him off since he is guaranteed Final 5, Round 2, since he has an idol to get him through at minimum the next vote. In terms of who is returning from Extinction Island, other than Reem, there's no one who has had more airtime than anyone else in the past few episodes. And I think with Reem, that's just mostly because she makes for good TV. My bet is for Aurora to return but get voted back off just as quickly, ending in either 6th or 5th place. Finally, I agree that I think there is something there with Jeff not announcing the members of the jury when they walk into Tribal. It could be simply that we aren't sure if those people will actually be on the jury since everyone has the opportunity to get back into the game, but part of me really thinks that their placement in the challenge will determine who makes the jury or something like that.
Yeah, we mentioned that. I think that is a possibility.
A 13-person jury is just too much. I would love to see that number decrease to 8 or 9, not to mention that I don't think people who haven't been part of the main game since before the merge should get a say in who wins. Anyway, looking forward to the finale, seeing whether or not Rick wins and how that all plays out. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks, Christiana. Fantastic job there on your feedback. Next up, we've got a call from Sophie and a little bit from Layla.
Hi, Survivor fans. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Sophie in Texas. Great episode. Actually, I wish I had known that this whole season was going to be brilliant because I think I would have enjoyed it more. For some reason, I always need to know the ending of a movie before I see it. Yeah, I enjoy movies better the second time. So watching this back, I think I will want to watch this season because Rick's so entertaining and I don't think anyone else deserves to win. Even if David or Aubrey or Joe come back and they have been surviving and it's been hard, I don't think anyone really deserves it. I went in and I signed in to see who to vote out. And then I realised that after last week's episode, I had gone in and made my picks, and I should have just kept them the way they were because I had put Aurora out. But throughout the week, I had been thinking the same as you and Stacey, Joanne and Stacey, about Gavin, how maybe they'll see him as the only one with a story. And maybe he deserves the money for a new home and honeymoon, plus his one immunity. So I was thinking exactly the same thing. So I changed it to Gavin, even though he's my USB. Yeah, sorry, Gavin, I doubted you. Yeah, and I didn't get the save points and the vote out. But it doesn't matter. However, for some reason, this is the first time that I actually felt annoyed at myself, even though it's just a game. But Rick, he deserved it. I had a feeling he would find another idol. I didn't expect him to win immunity challenge, so it was really fun to watch. What did you like about the challenges, Layla?
It was fun, and I thought that it was really cool how he got the award after he'd just found an idol and was about to be voted out.
Mm-hmm. And what about the challenges with the ball and the gutter and the seesaw and the word things? I think this was the best week of challenges for me personally. Did you like it?
I like water ones better because I like to see how bad they are at it, and it's sort of easier. I think it's easier to do that than actually to do one where you have to throw a ball up on
like on a balancing thing. Yeah. So you like to see belly flops. Okay, so next week will be fun, 3 hours. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend, and well, I think Rick should win, and if he doesn't, then he needs to take a page out of Russell Crowe's Gladiator and say, "Were you not entertained?" Yeah, that's all I can see Rick doing. He deserves to sort of show off and win. I think he's been playing hard. So anyway, ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sophie. Thanks, Layla. Good job. Next up, we got a call from the patriarch of Drew's crew. He's solo this week.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. Just me today because the kids are in the middle of their cartoon. Don't want to interrupt that. And, we had a real busy day. Got to get going anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock this out. can send it in. So I don't have a ton to say that everyone else isn't going to say already. So I'm just going to say this was another really awesome episode. Rick is just the one to beat right now. I'll be surprised and actually pretty disappointed if he's not at least in the finale. I feel like there's a couple others who maybe could put up a little bit of a pitch for the jury, but I don't know. It'd be really hard to beat him. And if he gets there, he absolutely deserves to win because they let him get there. Yeah, I think the winner of the week is definitely Rick. I'm just going to go right ahead and call these out. I mean, the idol play, the sense of humor, the screen presence, just like everything about him is great. I mean, I know he has experience with that, so that makes sense. But the loser of the week, I'm going to have to give that to Aurora. She just could never, ever get it together. I don't know how much that is her fault, but she did seem to have a bit of a victim mentality going on there, so won't go too much into that. But yeah, it was a great episode. The challenges were fun. Just this idol play that's happening back and forth has been really great. Hi, bud. Milo is waving. Anyway, that's all I got. So I'm really, really looking forward to the finale. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do as far as picks. I'm not at the very bottom of the side challenge, but I'm not near the top. So yeah, my USB 5 or whatever of David is not looking promising. So we'll see about that. I always bomb it in the finals. So you might be hearing me sing sometime in the near future. All right, everyone have a great Saturday. My niece is getting married, so we're going to be pretty busy. Talk to you all next week. Enjoy the finale. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, Drew's got a fantastic voice. So
yes, he does.
Looking forward to that, Drew. Next up, we got an email from Caleb in Texas.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy, and all of the amazing Survivor fans. This week's episode was decent, but it was exciting to watch Devin stay alive. I was cheering for him the entire time to win. I'm so glad he got immunity, but that seemed to be bad news for Julie. But it was not to be so. Bye, Aurora. She has an astounding shot at making it back into the game, but I would rather see someone voted out earlier on because it would be interesting how they could fit in with the rest of the group. Anywho, my final predictions for next week would be that Joe or David make it back into the game, and if David, he would unite with Devins and Julie to force a tie where they would have to draw rocks. My winner prediction would have to be Devins. I enjoy him as a character. That's my interesting prediction, and I'm excited to hear yours. What is your final 3 prediction? Edge of Extinction, returnee, and winner. Thanks for a great podcast. This is Caleb, and I will be back next week. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah.
Do you have a final 3 prediction for Caleb?
I haven't determined who's coming back yet or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really leaning between Chris, Joe, and David, even though there's a lot of other possibilities. And I know they could, but I don't necessarily want them to. Which you'd think I'd be pushing for Eric since, you know, I have him as my USB 24, but I don't know. I don't feel like I know him, so I don't really care.
Okay.
So I guess I'm not that into the points. But it's kind of between those 3.
Okay, pick one.
Pick one.
Yeah, he asked for who's the
Joe.
returnee. Joe makes it back. Certainly could see that. In your final 3?
Joe, Rick, and Gavin.
Wow, okay. Then he had one more question. Who's the winner in that case?
Still Rick, I think.
Yeah? You don't think Joe will win him over?
He could. And if it's true that they have a pact to send one of those, but both Rick and Joe have been on Extinction. So, you know, where would they really draw that line? They've both been there. So, but I don't know. I just think it should be Devins. He's played so hard and fought so hard.
Put the work in. We'll
yeah.
say that he's definitely put the work in.
Well, not that those on Extinction didn't put some work in, because
well, it's not the same though.
No, you just have to starve to death and be bored to death. But
yeah, it's can you put up with
you don't
a
get
lack
any
of
rewards.
A focus, yeah.
Yeah, it's just tormenting.
All right, thanks, Caleb. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and Aurora was voted out. Oh, goody. And Rick found an idol. That bluff with Julie, was that like a spur of the moment thing? Obviously it worked out. We'll see how Julie takes that. I don't know. I can't really tell what she think, but I mean, she stuck with Ron this whole time after Ron went against her vote a couple times. So I mean, I can't imagine that she'd go against Rick because of this. I've been in the Twitter game recently. I think it's fun to tweet during Survivor episodes, see what other people are tweeting. It's very divisive with the Rick Devens crowd. Also, Devens was trending on Twitter, so Rick Devens was trending on Twitter. That's hilarious. But it's very divisive. Some people are here for it. They love his fun energy. They love watching him find idols. They love that he's winning immunities. Some people are like, no, he hasn't been on the right side of any votes. And I don't like idols. And I don't like immunity challenges. I'm like, yeah. He has such a bad social game. He's just like Ben. I'm like, well, you kind of gotta have a social game to win the game of Survivor, and Ben won. So, but yeah, he's getting compared a lot to Ben, and I'm here for that. I love Ben, right? I'm a Ben fan, and I'm a Devens fan. I'm here for the fun people who are playing the game, playing hard, may not be playing well, but they're playing hard, and they respect the game. That's who I love to watch, and that's what I'm getting from Rick Devens. So, I don't know, until the day he dumps rice in the fire and curses out a bunch of people, then I'm here for Rick Devens, alright? Fight me. And next time on Survivor, it is the finale, and I'm pumped for the finale, really hoping that Rick can win. Who's going to come back from the edge of extinction? Is it going to be Joe? I don't know. It kind of I'm not sure if it's going to be Joe, actually. I'd love it for it to be David. Then David maybe could have a shot to win the game, and I could get that 24 points. Maybe. You never know. Because I've stuck with him this whole time. Let's go, David. Even though I kind of want Devens to win at this point. Come on, David, let's go. I have a feeling David's not going to return. I think it's going to be one of the new players. I think the returning players are done. I think it's going to be one of the new players in this game that's going to return. And if it's Aurora, she could do some damage. I think she could return to this game. She's very physical in challenges. So we'll see. I don't want it to happen, but it could. Obviously, the finales are very exciting. Survivor is my favorite sport, so this is like the Super Bowl of Survivor nights, the finale. I'm excited. Obviously, I'm always excited, unless I'm not. But that's very rare when it comes to Survivor. I think that's all I got. So I will see you guys next time.
All right, excited, Parker. We like that.
So if Aurora comes back, will she work with Devens this time?
No. She's really not competent to play the game of Survivor. She like everyone says, they'd basically U-turn her. I think that's pretty safe.
Yeah.
And she's just unlikely to solve a puzzle, or, we were looking at that final 6 puzzle in the preview, and it's that one from when Cochran won with the flames that they, had to assemble like that. I can't see her figuring that out. Could be wrong. She could prove me wrong, but it just seems unlikely. That's not her. It's not her strong suit for sure.
Yeah, you almost kind of want to see the person, because it's throwing off, your ability to choose picks in your final order. You almost want the person that comes in to go out in 6th for that reason. But then
that makes
if it were David, I wouldn't want that to happen, because
right. You want to see him and
I want to see him and Devens work together. So
D&D, yeah.
But that's easy for me to go, be simpler for me to make my choices if whoever comes back just goes out first.
Maybe that's how you need to do it.
But will they give them some sort of advantage
Yes.
or something to help
They've
keep
done it
them?
once, so I'm going to go on record and say yes.
Yes, but they could still get voted out.
Sure, just like Devens could have. His didn't take effect. He had to survive.
Did not apply for the first vote off.
This one they may make a little stronger though, because there's so much more at stake, and there's a lot less wiggle room.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Parker. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joan and Stacy, it's David in Pittsburgh, and I'm sitting almost immobile in my chair because every time I played it back, I heard all this creaking and noise from the chair, so I'm trying not to move. I also want to get this in early because I have a really busy week ahead of me, so I'll try to get through this quickly. I think the last episode and this episode were my favorites in the season, not because I like Rick the most, but because I like it when there's an underdog and they have to really claw their way up. And I think he's doing an excellent job with that. He really is very clever in how his strategizing, how he's going to play the game. And that does bring up why I think I'm not as crazy about this season. The others that have remained, really, they seem to be playing more to stay in the game, not so much as winning the game. I also felt that once they lost a close ally like Lauren with Wentworth and Julie with Ron and Aurora with Joe, I just felt they didn't play as good a game as when they were paired with somebody else. Now, Gavin, early on, I thought was playing a better game in that he really seemed to be focused ahead, but pretty much he was focused on people ahead. He wanted to get rid of Joe. He got rid of Eric. But he doesn't seem to be aiming for the end of the game. He just seems to be strategizing. Well, no, he's not really strategizing. He's just playing to get rid of somebody and then move on to the next. As for Aurora, well, I'm sure Pete has already sang her out, so I'll just add that I understand a little bit about her in that she's part of the foster care system, so I see that she's built this tough exterior. And that's a protection device, but it also keeps others on the outside as well. Once Joe was gone, and they seemed to have a really good connection, but she never really worked at trying to build a connection in the same way with any of the others. And she had an opportunity with Rick. Why she trusts the others over him, I don't know. But he's been pointing out to her, like at the reward challenge, he pointed out to her the pecking order. He said, you could go farther if you play with us than play with them. But she says she didn't trust half of what came out of his mouth. Well, Aurora, maybe you should have. Maybe you'd still be in this game. And as for Rick, well, he seems to be getting the winner's edit, but I remember other seasons when we thought the same thing about Malcolm and Joe and Christian, where they kept winning immunities or they kept finding hidden immunity idols, but once they didn't, they were out. So I'm not sure Rick's going to make it to the end. And, of course, somebody's coming back from Exile Island. So I'm really looking for the next episode. It looks like it's going to be packed. I can't wait to hear what the listeners have to say about that one as well. Bye.
All right. Thanks, David. Next up, we got an email from Mary in Michigan. Hi, guys. Overall, I was disappointed in this episode, mostly with Victoria and Gavin. I don't see how they could think Aurora was the right move here, for a few reasons. First of all, they should have seen red flags like crazy about Lauren wanting to keep Julie. That should have solidified their need to keep Aurora, and I would have flipped the vote on Lauren by getting Rick on board. If they told Aurora that Lauren was coming after her, she would have went along for sure. Devins would have went along too, because then he could have kept his idol a secret. Second, Aurora is your best bet to beat Devins in immunity challenges and possibly the Edge returnee. The whole thing seemed clear to me. The way things look now, Vic and Gavin may be next on the chopping block if the Edge returning wins immunity. Devins and Lauren play idols, and this blows up in their faces, not to mention the fact that even if they get to the end, who's voting for the person that flipped on their allies every single vote? I think that Devins has the jury in his pocket if he gets to the end. Other than him, everyone left is so boring. I really hope the Edge returnee. If it's David, I think Gavin, Vic, and Lauren are in big trouble. That's really all I got. I sure hope the finale is exciting because this was a little boring and disappointing for sure. Until next time, have a great week and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thanks as always. Thank you, Mary. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Slappy McGee.
Hey there, Joanne and Stacy. This is Slappy McGee calling you from Dexter, Maine. Dexter, Maine, right in the middle of Maine. And, I'm calling to gloat a little bit. It was my time. I got 5 points. I haven't seen 5 points I don't know how long, but I got them. So, I guess it was the first time I was watching the show and the editing was actually working because Aurora is totally going home. And she did. And I was good because, of course, I had picked Aurora. Of course, I had picked her 3 times in a row. It's like the 3rd time in a row I'd picked her, so 3rd time's the charm, I guess. But she went home, and I was happy because she's just, I hate basketball. I hate word puzzles. I can't deal with soccer moms. Oh, my goodness. She was like a ream light is what she was. The show itself was okay. I hated the letter to themselves on the edge of extinction there. I mean, who cares? I don't care. Did you guys care? I didn't care. Oh, it's like you wrote a letter to yourself, and they were crying about their letter they wrote to themselves. I mean, you talk about like a narcissistic moment for all of them. Like, oh, yeah, I love me so much. Thanks, me. Oh, that was horrible. Didn't like that. They could have cut that and I'd been fine. So moving into the finale, I guess, and we had to pick the 5 people in the order, and then the 6th person we got to write in or something like that. I think I've done mine already, but I fear that I've messed that completely up. But as long as Rick takes me to the end, I'll be fine. I have hope that I won't be last. I have hope. It's my only hope. Oh, Rick Devens, you're my only hope. I think I may have said that before, but he really is. He really is the only thing that's going to keep me out of the basement, I think. All right, so that being said, I'm looking forward to the finale, and looking forward to what you guys say about it, and hope it all works out for me. Because that's not narcissistic, is it? No. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, fine. I'm a hypocrite. Fair enough. That being said, I wanted to run something by you guys and see what you thought, and maybe some of the listeners thought. But I've had this idea for Survivor season for a while. I know they'd probably be revealing the next one or whatever. But here's my idea. And if they've stolen it, oh, man. But here's the idea. So the season is a return season, so it's people who have played in the past. But it's everybody who was kicked off first. So all the people who were first kicked off, were the first ones kicked off of all these other seasons. That's the one. It's that they are all invited back. So all those people that we barely even knew, they were the first ones kicked off. And I think it would be awesome because then, somebody's got to win out of that group. And then one of them will be the first one kicked off and the first one kicked off again. But I think that would be a fun season. What do you guys think? Or is that just a terrible idea? I think it would be good. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, that's my idea. I've been having it in my head for a while. Figured I'd get it out there where people could laugh at it and go, oh, Slappy, you're stupid. All right. Thanks for the podcast, guys. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to what everyone else says, as usual. And as you know, Slappy out. Banjo recital.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll hit you with the bad news first. You're not the first one to come up with that idea. There's definitely been proposed before. And who amongst us would not want to see Francesca voted out first again in a season of people voted out first, like a third time?
No, if I would want to see that again. Usually those people get voted out for a reason.
Ream, yes.
Yeah. That's what he's really thinking. He really likes Ream.
Yeah, he likes Ream and he wants to see more Ream.
Yeah.
Wants to see if she can make it be voted out first twice like Francesca.
Well, it would probably be a fairly equal opportunity.
Yeah, it's like, here's 18 duds, go at it.
I don't know that they're duds. I wouldn't want to go that far. But I guess it could be interesting.
They dudded on their season for one reason or another.
They'd really be kind of new people. Oh, does that mean was chicken voted out first? I
believe so.
In China?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, do you really want that? I mean, do you want more Dolly? I don't. So it's funny to think about. I don't think in reality it would be enjoyable, and there's like no way they could sell it. There's just no way. That would have to be like bonus YouTube only content kind of thing.
Maybe not. You never know. Maybe Survivor 120.
So congrats on getting that 5-pointer there. Good job. Blind squirrels and broken clocks. That's what came to mind. But I'm right there with you. You give me a funny look.
Because that's weird. Blind squirrels and broken clocks.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, and a broken clock's right twice every day.
That's just mean.
That's not mean.
Hidden mean in a compliment, buried in a compliment.
He's the one who said he did. He voted, put her there 3 times, and finally got it.
Right. Don't be a sore winner.
He won. I didn't win. I didn't get the points.
Not that one, but you're still ahead. So
okay.
You don't get to let go.
I see. All right. There you have it. Thanks, Slappy. Good job, bud. Next up, we got a call from Rashmi.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all my survivor friends. I finally got a vote out point for Aurora.
Yay!
Lucky me, yay! I didn't change my choice at the last minute. So it seems like Rick is going to be the winner of the season. Wouldn't it be nice that they're fooling us or blindsiding us and it is actually somebody else? Who knows? Because I'm really looking forward to seeing who actually gets back from the edge of Extinction Island, and if it was like Joe, and like he has a great record at winning challenges, and yes, Rick also has a great record at winning challenges, but I think Joe would beat Rick. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. As somebody else suggested, Lauren could be a winner. She could be the silent person like Michelle a couple of seasons back. So it'll be interesting to see who wins. Unfortunately, I won't be in Australia on Thursday when it is actually going to be airing here. So I will have to wait till I come back on Sunday to be able to watch it. So I suppose no Facebook. I don't want to get spoiled, and it'll be so hard to be waiting those few days. But well, I will have to wait and watch then. And I do hope I do get some choices right. I'll see how I go. And I'm so looking forward to the finale. It should be loads and loads of fun. And everybody have a great Survivor weekend. Oh, Survivor Thursday or Wednesday. And I'll wait to hear the final episodes, the final JSFL feedback show later on. So thank you, Joanne and Stacy, for a great, great season, and all my Survivor friends. It's such a pleasure to listen to everybody. On that note, cheers.
All right. Thanks, Rashmi. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this episode, but there are some observations I noticed when watching it. When Rick needs to find idols or advantages to stay in the game, he pulls it off, and I really do think he could win this game. Speaking of idols, I'm not sure I would have bought the whole idol came from the edge, so good on Julie for not buying what Rick was selling. I think you meant Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For the reward challenge, I feel that if you are great at basketball, then you would do very well in this challenge. At the immunity challenge, I do feel like small stacks would be a better way to carry them, but as shown with Gavin, it might not work either. I wasn't really expecting to see personal written letters on the edge to help reflect on their journey from where they were before the game started. It was nice to see some of the transformation that came from those. For the finale, it is going to be very difficult to narrow down the final order in JSFL, since there are a lot of choices about who is to return from the edge and among the players still participating on the island. However, with how the season has been going, it should be a great finale. Good luck on the final order, everyone. All right. Thanks, Jack. Good luck to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, it's Justin from Michigan. What a great episode. Really great way to lead into the finale. Devin, she is the complete package. She's probably in the top 5, maybe even the top 3 of the most entertaining survivors that I can remember. I'm really glad Aurora is gone. I would have been satisfied with it being Aurora or Julie. Neither of them I don't think deserved to be at the end, so I was glad that she was gone. The interesting part of the episode to me was when Devin was kind of banking on comes back from Edge of Extinction to work with him. And they may be in that position where they have to, but if I'm them, I don't want to, because right now he's made so many moves. Week to week to week, he's making all these moves. He's saving himself. He's entertaining. He's likable. He's going to win the game. If he's in Final 3, I'm convinced at this point there's no way he can't win. And if he doesn't, it's an injustice and the jury's flawed. But they might have to work with him because they're going to be the easy target. Their best chance is to obviously win their way back in the game, win immunity, and then try to save Julie because she would be the next easy vote. Next point I have is Lauren still has an idol. You know, they haven't shown the confessional with her being torn on using it, and she has been very strong-willed not using it so far. So how Lauren uses that idol is going to be huge. I think if Kelly comes back, she might use it to save Kelly. Other than that, I don't see her giving it away. And if she doesn't feel like the number one target, I think, you know, she'll hold it till the final 5. And at that point, if she's not the top target, then she has to play it, and she might be playing it just to play it. I hope she can use it effectively, maybe earn a couple votes if she gets to the final 3. But really, her only path I see is for winning immunity this week, using the idol effectively if she's the target the following day, and then winning that final immunity. Make a strong push at the end, but other than that, I don't see how Lauren can win. I don't see how Victoria can win. Gavin maybe has a chance, but it's going to come down to Rick and whoever comes back from Edge of Extinction. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is probably one of the best leading episodes into a finale that I can remember, and I'm looking forward to the finale, and I hope it's one of the best in Survivor history, and looking forward to what everybody else has to say. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, everyone. This is a live report coming to you from Survivor Season 38, where Rick Devens, some people call him Devens, has pretty much secured his spot into the finale to win this game. Hey, everybody, this is Jeremiah here with some feedback. And I tell you what, after this episode, you guys, I'm having a really hard time thinking anybody else can win this thing. But hey, that's what this feedback show's for. I really want some of these other listeners to help talk me off the ledge, just saying that maybe there's somebody else that I'm sleeping on that could win this thing. Because right now, I just don't see it. He's had such a strong edit, which I know a lot of people have been complaining about that online, which I don't understand. I mean, what are you supposed to do? The guy's dominating and everything, so it happens, you know. But hey, blame it on the players for making Devens put him in that spot where he felt like he had to be this way. You know, otherwise, you know, maybe things would have gone differently. But anyway, that's beside the point. I think the main reason why I want to bring in my feedback is, of course, to discuss what could happen next week. Right now, I am going to stick with my earlier prediction from last week that whoever, of course, just got voted out, which, of course, this case was Aura, will be the one coming back in. Although I could see, like, maybe a Kelly or David or somebody like that coming in. As I mentioned, I do not see Joey Amazing, even though he's the best competitor out there, coming back in. But whoever it is, I really do think they're going to get voted out either right away at 6 or maybe 5. So right now, let's say Aurora comes back in and gets voted out at 6. Then I think I'm leaning towards either Gavin or Victoria going out at 5. So let's go with Victoria, and then Gavin loses out in the fire challenge against someone. I think Rick Devens wins that 1-4, so he doesn't have to do the fire. And then I think the finale will be Rick Devens winning with Julie finishing second only because she gets 1 vote from Ron. And then let's say Lauren maybe is our third placer. I think I kind of like that the best. I think that's probably where we're headed. So that is my prediction for the moment. So we'll see. Obviously, we got the side challenge on the line. I don't want to clear my throat and get ready to sing, but it's always possible. The last time there was somebody so over the top that I screwed up on was Tony. I let people talk me into, for some reason, that Wu was going to win, and I didn't go with Tony, and I had to sing. So I don't want that to happen again. I think it's just safe to just go with the Devens thing, and if it doesn't happen and the editors pull a wool over eyes, fine, whatever. You guys take care, and until next week after the finale, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
All right. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Good job.
So he's thinking Aurora will come back.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are thinking that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see it. I think there are too many other people who up there who are better competitors than her.
Did you notice how thin Joe looked in the commercial?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they all do.
Yeah, but he
that was the first thing.
Really thin.
That was the first thing I thought when we saw Chris out on that rock. I was like, oh wow, he's just skeletal. You know, from where he started. Like his leg looked like a toothpick. It looked like a David Wright leg out there. I was like, is that Chris or David? Okay. Good deal. Thanks again, Jeremiah. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, I really enjoyed this episode. Rick's superior effort and desire continue to foil the plans of the cabal. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't win it all. My other observations, Aurora says Rick gets all the good toys. That's because he acts like a big kid. That's true. In case you haven't heard, Aurora wants Devins out. Survivor Classic blunder, giving the obvious vote out free rein to search for hidden idols. Soccer player Lauren was really bad at the ball toss reward challenge. Too bad she couldn't use her feet. The producers were mean to have the reward chopper fly right over Aurora. Stacy says he's not a fan of Airy Moose. This Airy Moose isn't a fan of banjo playing. Touche. Kelly, Wardog, and Ron didn't get voiceovers during the Letter to Self segment. I think we can assume they won't do well in the Lazarus challenge. Chris was a man alone on an island framed in a dramatic shot. Winner's edit for the Lazarus challenge. Rascally Rick led his tribe on a Looney Tunes style chase. The only thing missing was Rick saying, "Ain't I a stinker?" Bad assumption number 1. Gavin thinks Rick ran off to make something. Fake idol. Victoria's secret was was that she was still part. Why is that more funny than anything right now? Victoria's secret was that she was still part of the immunity challenge. Yes. Funny.
Tripped your switch, baby.
Yeah. Funny how the survivors had challenge puzzle cheat guards this time. Yeah, they did, didn't they?
I liked that.
Yeah, finally. I think Jeff gave them a puzzle hint tonight. Rick, yeah, he talks about that in the Q&A with
tonight. Yeah, they got it.
He talks about that in the Q&A with Dalton Ross, too.
Mm-hmm.
Rick says, confused, paranoid people do crazy things. Which is he, confused or paranoid? Devins plays to the jury more than Matlock ever did. Bad assumption number 2, Aurora thinks a red wrapper means that Devins' idol is fake. I might be wrong, but I think saving the Lazarus challenge for the finale means that the winner will be voted out again quickly. Bad assumption number 3, Lauren's tribal eye roll on idol non-play says she thinks it's fake.
See?
I see where you got it. Next time the finale will return from Extinction, will Devon's seemingly fake idol catch the trio by surprise? Who'll be the sole survivor? I can't wait for Wednesday. Anyways, that's it from me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Thank you, Josh.
I cracked myself up.
You did?
Yeah, I thought if I wasn't so sweet, I'd stab you with my pen.
Aha. That's what cracked you up?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, goodness. Let's keep it rolling. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi everyone, this is Jen in California. Well, we're finally here. We're to the finale, and boy, this is going to be the toughest choices I've ever made, especially considering that we have 11 plus 6. We've got like 17 people in the game. I don't know. Maybe there's 16. More. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong. But anyway,
16,
before
close.
I give what my final 6 pick is going to be, which is actually crazy, little commentary on the episode. Boy, Rick is just playing balls to the wall. He's just going to go all out. Like he said, he's playing with house money, so he has the luxury of just laying it all out there on the table and going for broke each week. But I have to say, I'm getting a big Fabio vibe off of him, and this is why. He's looking like a mastermind. He's looking like he's using idols in the right time, he's getting immunity at the right time, and it looks to the jury as if the moves that Devins is making is having an impact on who's being voted out. But I really don't think that was so true, especially this week. I think that Lauren really engineered the Aurora vote out, and I think that it was predetermined before they got to tribal council. So the theatrics over giving the immunity idol to Julie and protecting her, and the illusion of everyone apparently changing their mind at the last minute at tribal council, I really don't think that happened, but the jury is going to perceive it as Rick's actions as causing that. Aurora herself even thought that. So this brings me to the reason why I feel like I'm getting a Fabio vibe off of him. Fabio, in Nicaragua had to win immunity to get to the end because he was the most sympathetic character and a threat to win the game because he was such a strong competitor, and he did. He won immunity all the way to the end, and he won the game. However, he was always on the wrong side of every vote. He never knew what was going on. He would write down his vote off choice and shrug his shoulders and just kind of go on with his day. So as impressed as I am with Rick and his no regrets gameplay, I feel like he's more of a Fabio than a mastermind. Having said that, if he gets to the end and wins the game, he will be totally deserving. So I've already made my final 6 pick, and here it is. I'm predicting that Lauren will go out 6th after Aubrey comes back into the game. So Aubrey will come back into the game. Lauren will somehow be blindsided at 6 and go out. Rick, Julie, and Aubrey will have the majority. Gavin will go out at 5. Victoria will go out at 4 with the fire-making challenge. The final 3 will be Aubrey, Julie, and Rick. Aubrey will come in 3rd, Julie will come in 2nd, and Rick Devens will win the game. It sounds completely insane, and it is, and we'll just have to see what happens Wednesday night. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to everybody else's feedback and predictions. Joanna and Stacy, thank you for this awesome podcast and this community that you've built. Till next week. Bye.
Ooh, Jen, that would be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
I was thinking that's cruel.
Why?
Having Aubrey go there again and whiff it.
Well,
it would be fun to watch the progression. Yes, I agree with what you're saying. I just
and to
thought
have Lauren, after all this time, blindsided, because whoever comes back will know that she has one.
Yeah, just having Aubrey whiff it like that, just as an accessory in the finale again. That I thought, oh wow, that'd be rough for her.
So, do you think that they've told the people that came behind Kelly? We know the people that when Kelly came in, she told it. So, all of the people that got there before her know for sure. But what about War Dog, Ron, and Aurora?
That's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if War Dog knew, although Kelly may not have been so keen to talk to him. That might have still been stinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other people could have, and you got to think that it would be gossip that would come up again and again. It would just be one of the topics of conversation. So, yeah, I guess maybe they did probably hear it around the fire. Yeah, I won't be surprised. Aurora will have had the least chance. With the new person coming in, I'm sure that night they come in or whenever it is that they sort of settle in, you know, that process, it takes a little while. So she may not have had enough time to hear. I guess it's possible she may not know, although I'd make sure everyone knew.
Yeah, you
right
would think
the
Joe
challenge.
or Aubrey would tell her just in case she went back and they didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And but I've got to assume they will know, and Lauren will have no clue that they know.
Right.
Unless she's approached.
Yeah, definitely like that aspect of what Jen was describing in terms of the sequence. That would be something to see. A lot of people are, I think, pulling for Lauren. They think she's a dark horse, so that would be an interesting way to take her down. Good deal. Thanks, Jen. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here, and oh man, where do I start? You know, if it weren't for Rick, wow, what a boring season. We'd just spend the hour watching slackers sitting around a campfire, or possibly even an unlit campfire. Our remaining players, sans Rick, are the most boring and unmotivated group of people I've seen. It's like Rick is up against a bunch of non-playing characters, each with really bad AI. Is there any doubt that these people more or less sit back and let Rick find idols? Yeah, they go through the motions, but even that's a joke, and it's truly portrayed as one as we watch it. And to further prove that these players have no common sense, well, if you know anything about Survivor, then you knew without a doubt that Rick was never going to waste that idol on Julie. When people play an idol for someone, they don't threaten to play it. They just play it. There's no need for grandstanding unless you aren't going to follow through. And of course it worked because these are non-playing characters who won't be remembered in another year unless their name is spoken with a patented Lauren eye roll. I mean, these players are so lacking in gameplay that Victoria had to remind Jeff that she was playing during a challenge. I don't know, maybe you forgot her name. So like I said, if it weren't for Rick, what would we be watching? People reading letters that they wrote to themselves, I guess? And come on, is that really inspirational? I will say that it's way up there on my list of least exciting gifts, that's for sure. I guess my favorite part of the shows have been the tribal councils, where everyone that pretends to be playing against Rick makes him sound like a survivor god to the jury. Yeah, they're actually poisoning the jury against themselves. Endlessly. I just want to take them and shake them. So after Rick's threat of possibly saving Julie, it was either Aurora or Julie to go, which should have been a no-brainer. But those knuckleheads picked Aurora, who they were barely working with, but still working with, and then they let her go. That makes Lauren my winner of the week, because sometimes it's tough to keep your goat without revealing your hand, and Rick certainly helped Lauren make that happen. But is Lauren going to exit soon? Kelly's revealing to everyone at Edge of Extinction that Lauren has an idol means that that knowledge must come into play. So I think someone's going to let the cat out of the bag a second time. I'm just worried that we're going to miss out on a lot because as I see it, there's going to be too much to cover in such a short span of time. So I'm headed into the finale with my head shaking because a returning player at this point in the game doesn't sit well with me. I really want Rick for the win. If he comes up short and one of these numbskulls takes it from him, well, then the editors have set us up for a disappointing ending, and I guess I'm just going to have to punch my TV. I think that's it for me. However, I want Reem to come back so she can be carried as a goat to the end, so that the second returning player has no chance of winning because she's inadvertently poisoned the jury against herself. Yes! No last word for you. And that's it for me. Bye. Oh, and happy Mother's Day to everyone that it applies to. So, bye. Really this time. Bye.
All right, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Good job.
On a roll.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Interesting thought.
Yep. There you have it.
I just can't see Reem surviving that challenge. I just can't see it.
No, I don't. I would be
interesting.
I'll be surprised if she gets there to have a shot at it. So
yeah,
we'll see. And it seems like you have to bet on Joe coming back. Who in this group besides Eric was ever close to him? Only Eric. And Eric seems unlikely. Would Joe or Eric work with Rick? What do you think? Would Joe work with Rick?
Man, I don't know.
Would he get suckered back into Victoria and Gavin and Julie?
Well, they already voted him out once.
Right. So you wouldn't think so, right? And
you wouldn't think so.
He's tried to adapt and change his game.
But I wouldn't think he'd want to go up against Rick either, unless he knows that the jury don't feel the way about him that we do.
Mm-hmm. Because they've seen so much more that we haven't seen.
Exactly. They have a lot more knowledge than we do going in.
Right.
But we're not going to know to the finale. So how they really feel, because they're not showing us saying anything about him. I mean, they laugh a lot.
Do you think Eric would work with Rick? Would he work with Devins?
Yes.
I think he would. It's kind of the same boat as Joe, right? He's a smart guy, very competent in the context of the game, and he got voted off by those people.
And by Gavin, Victoria, and Julia specifically.
You said Julia.
Yes.
You meant Julia, right? Okay.
I meant Julia because that's who did it.
Okay. It's just she's not significant in the scheme of things.
It's significant that was the three that voted him off.
Gotcha.
So why would he want to even attempt to work with Victoria and Gavin again?
So you think because you got to be willing to go to rocks, right? Because you make a 3 with Julie and Devins, and so then that drives it to rocks.
Well, do we think that the returning player will utilize their knowledge that Lauren has an idol to try to get her to join with them and vote with them so that they don't expose it
it's an interesting
before
question.
Final 5?
I would think you would really want to get rid of it with a blind side more than anything.
You would, unless you couldn't get the numbers any other way. And that was one of your last opportunities.
So the person coming back is going to have some kind of an advantage. It may not be in play at 6, but will be at 5. So we could potentially see 3 idols at 5 if they're not played at 6. It really depends on who wins immunity.
I don't think you'll see 3 because...
You think they're going to get played at 6?
I think at least one will be played at
You
6.
think like Devon's?
Either Devon's or whoever comes back, if they had one that was, and they didn't win immunity, then yeah, I think they would play it at 6. Because the odds are they could be an easy vote out.
Even if they gave them as an advantage, the returnee from Edge of Extinction, even if they gave them an extra vote, that would be enough to
turn the table.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fair because, of course, it's not always fair. But,
yeah, it's not supposed to be
would
fair.
Totally turn the tables where if he did join with somebody totally break a tie.
Unknowingly.
But we don't know what's going to happen or what other advantages might be placed out there. Though you wouldn't think there would be any other idols in play right now.
If one gets played at 6, then we'll see another one at 5. It's definitely going to be a jam-packed finale, and I think they will absolutely take time away from the reunion show like they did last season.
I do too. I think they're going to go 2.5 hours again with the episode, and then just have the half-hour reunion, and that worked pretty good for me last year.
Well, given the effort that he's putting into it, the only catch is with the season 39 theme, I gotta think they're going to take some time to. They may take even more time because of how season 39 is shaping up, because there may be a couple of folks they're going to want to talk to in the audience.
At the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that would be kind of sideways, but hopefully they won't burn a lot of time on it.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility, I guess, if the rumors are true.
I think the most significant thing is that we're excited going in, or at least some of us are excited going in to see how it's going to play out. Other people are bummed, and I understand that too, the unevenness of how the story has been presented. Wow, it's just so reminiscent of other shows.
I feel excited but anxious.
Yeah, because you just don't think that Devon's is going to be, will he really be able to hang on through all that? Is that what's making you anxious?
No, because I didn't think that all along. I've been there, there's just, I want to stick with him, but there's just no way he can get there, and then he keeps doing it. So now I'm kind of like, he can make it work.
So what's the source of the anxiety?
Just because I won't relax until I know. It's like when you're having a test done and you think, oh, no, it's fine and everything's going to go fine. You're still just that little bit anxious until you know 100%. Until somebody says, yes, that's good, or you passed, or
you're saying
whatever.
you think you're anxious just because you haven't seen the finale yet.
Yes, just because I don't know for sure what's going to happen, that builds a little bit of anxiety, but also excitement.
Okay, well, I'd
to
certainly
find
get
out.
the excitement part.
I can see your confusion.
I feel anxious for Devon's.
Don't try to figure me out, honey. It hasn't worked in 26 years, so.
Definitely not making that attempt, but I do try to understand at times.
Oh, actually 29 we've been together, huh?
That's okay.
We just had our 26th wedding anniversary, so that's why I said 26.
Yep.
I forgot those other 3 years.
All right.
To add them on.
I think we're on a tangent. Anything else you want to say before we head into the finale, Miss Anxiety?
Wow. Yeah, you didn't answer any of the questions earlier. You asked me, who do you think's coming back from Edge of Extinction Island? Who do you think's the winner? Who do you think the final 3 is?
So I'm going to go with Joe coming back, and final 3 is going to be Julie. There's no way they don't take Julie the goat at this point. Julie and Joe and Devon's. And
Isn't that what I said?
Devon's wins. There we go. I'm just answering your questions.
You're just copying my picks.
I may or may not have heard them somewhere.
Okay. So that's your final 3.
Yep.
And Devon's is the winner?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I'm still being...
See, on the side challenge thing, I don't have to win. I just have to not be at the bottom.
Okay.
So points-wise.
I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
I'm still pulled, though. I said Joe because you had me pick someone, but I'm still really pulled toward Chris, Aubrey, and even Aurora. I don't want Aurora to come back, so I'm more pulled toward Chris or Aubrey.
The logical side of me says Eric's got a fantastic chance of making it back.
He does.
So I think he's in the race.
Him.
I don't think Aubrey's going to get there. I don't think Aurora is really. She's good at certain parts of challenges. She's not good at a whole challenge. And this one is a mixture of things. So it's got multiple stages. And the pressure at the end, she seems to fold a lot. Endurance, if it was an endurance-based thing, then I would give that a lot more measure. But given all the different stages of this, and it just doesn't seem likely.
What's at the end of it? Did they show? I
don't remember, but it's probably a puzzle.
Yeah, I would think so. Oh, yeah, because they had a bag. I remember they have to gather something with the bag and do a combination.
Oh, that's the wrong challenge.
Oh, wrong challenge.
Yeah, that's the actual castaways. That's the final six challenge, I think.
That's the final six challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. Then never mind. So I don't know that we did see
All right,
that.
you're anxious, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be doing our recap after the finale and the reunion show, so that'll be a long, fun night of Survivor, and then we'll regroup one more time after that to sort of wrap up the season. Hey, we want to say a big thank you to everyone who took the time to send in your thoughts and predictions this week regarding the episode, the season as a whole, and what we can expect in the finale. Good job, everyone.
Okay, so if you play JSFL, don't forget to get your Final Five order in before the deadline on Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Steve has added the people on Edge of Extinction back into the JSFL picks, so you can choose one of them in your Final Five or as your sixth place person. Okay, sixth place will be handled as a listener reward bonus question for this season. You will not see the question on the website. You will only hear it here on the podcast. The question is, what is the first name of the person who finishes the game in sixth place? Be sure to only use their first name and check your picks page to make sure you have the correct spelling of their name. Aubrey has no E, Kelly has 2 E's, Reem has 2 E's, and also use Rick, not Devins, Dan, not War Dog, and you'll be good to go. You only have to choose from all those people.
That sounds complex, but it's not.
It's not. Just click on answer question and just type in the first name of the person you think is going to finish in sixth. That's all you have to do. Yep. And hit submit, or you won't have an answer. So don't forget that little thing. And then choose your Final Five order as usual.
I want to say a happy Mother's Day out there to all the mothers. Say hi to your mother for me. Anything else?
Okay. I'll say hi to my mother for you. I'm going to call her now.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. Just excited for it. All right, everybody.
Have a good one.